Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mission Employable podcast. My name is Ryan West. I am your host. We have a great show for you today. First and foremost, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, thank you for checking us out. I think this will be, almost our 15th or 16th actually recorded one on YouTube. So thank you to our guests for coming on the camera and doing that. That's not always the funnest thing to do, so we appreciate that. So if you're not checking us out on YouTube and you're listening to the podcast, make sure to download and subscribe all these. Today's show is all about how an Iowa-based business is leading the way in training the next generation of construction specialists. Is a very good program premise and excited to talk about it. And this is also part of our National Registered Apprenticeship Week episodes. We wanted to throw this one in there as well. Employers across Iowa and quite frankly all over the country are looking for ways to recruit, train, and retain quality workers. Southeast Constructors Incorporated, commonly referred to as SEC, here in Des Moines have paved the new way, to introduce Iowans to careers in construction, and we're going to talk about that school. Here with us today are Perlla, Deluca, and Joseph Cichowski. Boy, I'm telling you, there cannot be two harder names right there. To talk about the launch of the Iowa Construction School. We'll get into that in a little bit. Perlla, Joseph, thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to the Mission Employable podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Ryan. We are happy to be here and speak about this opportunity.
Yeah, so before we get into the first question, I'll start with you. Just a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into this, and a little bit of background?
Okay, I'm originally from Brazil. I've been in construction 22 years now.
Okay.
I'm the CEO of Southeast Constructors. We specialize in federal projects throughout, the 3 states around us. Mostly heavy construction, and that's how we came around this school, and we'll talk about a little more later.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Joseph?
I've been doing construction since I was probably about 17 years old.
Okay.
I'm not going to date myself, but it's been quite some time.
Experienced.
Yeah. And I've been working with Perlla with Southeast Construction for over 22 years.
Wow. Okay. Well, definitely have a wealth of experience here. So let's jump into this then. So again, I'll come back to you, and then we'll just try to do these questions back and forth. I think you both can give answers on all these, which is great because then we could just kind of work through them all. Talk to us about the challenges that you see, Perlla, facing the construction industry and how your business is helping find those new solutions.
Yes, for us, we are considered a small business. Even though we do federal work, it is being challenging as far as the labor shortage. Yeah. The labor shortage started before COVID, and just after COVID it got worse. Yep. So that's when the idea came that we need to start training our youth, or we are going to run out of workers.
Yeah, and do you think, and we talk about this all the time, that a lot of this stuff was going on well before the pandemic? The pandemic just kind of ripped off the Band-Aid. Why did the pandemic expose more of it, you think? Just because of how everybody had to live, or why all of a sudden we'd get a better picture of it, do you think?
I think it didn't expose, it just made it more aggravated. For example, was already an issue. And then during COVID, it just became a bigger number of people not going back to work. Yeah. And I think the employers only realize that when they start losing money on their projects.
For sure. Yeah, well, that's a good point. And you coming, we don't know how many years, but experience in construction. I'm just kidding, of course. But, what are your thoughts there,
Well, I would agree, like what Perlla said, and we've talked to it numerous times, that there was a downward trend of finding good, skilled workers.
Which was happening well before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic. It's just when the wheels stopped during the pandemic, it was much harder to get them started again. Yeah. Because then there's less and less people. You know, there's people that, they want to be YouTube influencers now, or they want to stay at home and work from home. That's right. It's in our industry, it's hard to find good people.
It is. And, the funny thing is, you mentioned the YouTuber thing. I do find it fascinating that maybe there is now, I guess, more YouTubers who are in the construction field. I feel like if you're going to be on YouTube, do it in construction, you're helping people. You know what I mean?
We're going to try to change that.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear.
We want to change that.
So great information. Okay, which leads into the Iowa school, Iowa Construction School. And the innovative was, before I get into that question, did you start thinking about this school immediately when the pandemic started? Or was it, within the first year of the pandemic, or had you been thinking about it even previous to that?
I think the exact date, I was on a roundtable with our governor discussing challenges that small businesses were facing in 2017. Okay. And one of the discussions we have was the labor shortage. I came out of that and I talked to Joe, and facing everything we're facing on site, we pay really well on federal projects and we still cannot find people. Yeah. So that's when the idea was born. But the execution came later. We were ready to open prior COVID, but we couldn't open because of COVID. Our training is hands-on. Yeah. So then Yeah, it's been a process, but we want to develop a good curriculum too.
Yeah. Okay. So that leads into the question. So the construction website is IowaSchoolOfConstruction.com. That is IowaSchoolOfConstruction.com. Make sure to check that out. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But the question I was going to ask was, it's an innovative way to introduce people to different construction careers and help them find the right fit. Is there anything beyond the pandemic? What is the real inspiration for that? Is it just to get another pipeline and get more people engaged in the construction field?
Well, yes. I mean, I think you hit it. The word that we like to use is engaged.
Yeah.
We have to bring people back to the construction industry and get rid of the negative connotations and stigmas that it's probably been plagued with, like, you're not good for college, so you'll just end up doing construction. And it's not. Yeah. Construction is a noble career.
Absolutely.
When you can go down the road with your children and your family and say, listen, we built that bridge.
Right.
That's self-rewarding, and it also builds the community.
Right.
So we want to engage the people back and have pride again and passion towards the construction industry.
Yeah, totally. I mean, interrupt you. I totally agree with that. Now, I was just going to say, as somebody who grew up with somebody who poured basements, anytime he's in Des Moines, I have to hear about every home that he poured a basement on, and so there is pride there to that end.
Exactly.
And I think that maybe what the pandemic did more than anything is it really kind of highlighted that those careers are opportunities. Now I think people are just looking for ways to get into them, maybe in different ways to find that training, which kind of leads to this school. Again, it's IowaSchoolOfConstruction.com. What is the curriculum on there? What is the information on there? What will people find when they go to that website?
I'll touch a little bit on the sense, and then I'll let Joe explain the curriculum. The difference between our program and other programs like DMAC and different ones is that they have their program is longer, 2 years, and you are going to end up as a superintendent or a project manager.
Sure.
Ours is just hands-on basic skills for construction training.
Yep.
And it's 3 months long.
And it's 3 months long, which is really, I think, what a lot more people are looking for, to be honest. And it's really geared or set for women as well, correct? I mean, it's not just your typical male who may be doing the construction. I mean, that's a big part of it.
That's the exciting part of it.
Yeah.
There is no reason why women shouldn't be in construction. Yeah. We are facing a labor shortage, and women only makes 14% of our workforce now in construction. So with the proper training, they can fill that gap.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, talk to us about the curriculum on there then.
The curriculum is basic curriculum. I mean, we're going to walk you through from the history of construction to the units of measurement, how to read tape measures, how to use power tools safely, how to use hand tools, how to use light machinery, heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Load securement, everything that you would be able to use when you show up to a construction site on an entry level, and even a more advanced level. So, we developed this program that, like Perlla said, I mean, it's not a gender-based program.
Yeah.
So anybody, whether it's somebody coming out of high school or somebody that wants to change their career, or even during the pandemic realize I hate my job. I always wanted to try construction, but I don't know how to start. Yeah. This is a good entry-level program that can help people with that transition of being not savvy in construction skills to learn a general concept of skills, and also to take away with life skills.
Right.
I mean, I always say now you know how to hang the TV up that you just bought in Best Buy in your house.
For sure.
Yeah.
Perfectly said. And so if folks want to get connected with it, is it on a yearly? Talk to us about how people can get signed up with it. I know I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but as I'm looking at the website, what are the requirements to get into the program?
Well, we had to go and get approved by the state of Iowa.
Yep.
And we followed their guidance and everything, and we appreciate that. There are certain criteria that we mentioned in there that you have to be 18 years of age, but then it's really open to anybody. Just go on the website, and if you like what you see, register, and then we have open houses. They can come and see the curriculum.
We'll have orientation, see if it's something they want to pursue. And the only thing we ask of the people we already signed up is that they commit to that 3 months, and also don't take this spot for somebody else that really wants to train.
Sure. Well, sure. And so is that Monday through Friday course then?
Right now it's Monday through Friday on the morning for 5 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. And do classes, do you rotate them every 3 months, then you start your next one then?
Right now it's a pilot program starting in February.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So then after that, we're going to have different times.
Gotcha. Well, we want to get folks over there then to go to IowaSchoolOfConstruction.com. Okay, I'll stay with you, Perlla. So construction is often seen as a male-dominated industry. I sound like a robot reading this question. I'm sorry, but how does the Iowa construction, concept help bring more Iowans into this construction background, you think? I mean, what is so enticing about it to all genders out there?
I think for me, mostly because I've been in construction 22 years, I'm mostly on site.
Yeah.
I can just connect and just connect with the women, also with the Latin community.
Sure.
So I'm involved with them a lot.
Yeah.
So there is no reason. What I always tell when a girl asks, Perlla, can I leave my job at Walmart and go make $60 an hour in construction? I say, yeah, with the proper training.
Yeah, right.
And come to our school, we can put you on the right direction. Another thing I think is a takeaway is I am in construction. I can tell them the hopes and how to get there,
sure,
or what you should be doing different. It is hard for women in construction, but it is harder if we're not proper trained.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. And do you think, so when people go through this, I know the pilot's coming up here, will, is the goal then to get them into a career after that training is done? I know that's probably the next step. Or how can they get linked up with an employer? Is there talk about that as well?
Well, absolutely. We want to develop skills that they can carry throughout their career.
Yeah.
This is a stepping stone.
Sure.
And yes, after they come to the program, we will have employers, local employers, national employers, ready to hire.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be a pool of applicants, so those companies should take advantage of it and also benefit our students.
Yeah, it's a win-win all the way around.
Yes, sir.
We went ahead. We create an app for the school that's where they see the content of the classes, and then they come to class for the practical side of it.
Wow.
And on the app, there's an employer portal that after their certifications are all carried on to a live resume, then they're going to be available to be hired.
Wow, you got it all connected.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So if a kid graduates high school, let's say they graduate in, we'll just hypothetically early in December, they could get into this program starting in December as well. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool stuff. Okay, this one for either one of you. What advice would you give somebody who is interested in construction but isn't sure if this is for them, or a parent who has a young adult who's still at home and doesn't know what they want to do? So I think there's a lot of that too. What do you guys think there?
First thing you got to do is get them off the couch.
Right.
Get them off the couch and get them engaged. Just try it.
Yeah.
Just do it. You can't do anything if you don't try.
Yeah.
You're still ahead of the person that didn't try at all.
Is there funding available for the class? What does the class cost?
So right now the program is 3 months. They will come out with 12 chapters of different areas of construction, which is a good opportunity to see what area do you like.
Sure, absolutely.
They will also come out with a CPR and 30-hour OSHA for safety.
Okay.
The program costs $4,200. We did get funding for Iowa Workforce for the first 10 students. But I am meeting with the larger employers in Des Moines and saying that if they want to help the school, they keep asking me, what can I do to help? I said, you can donate scholarships.
Yeah, for sure.
So for the students that cannot afford to go through.
Yeah, and let's talk about that. So if businesses are listening, employers are listening, and for whatever reason they haven't made their way to you, how can we get them engaged? Where do you want to send them to reach out to you? Then just send them to the same website?
They can just come to the website, or I would say half of Des Moines know Perlla Deluca, my LinkedIn.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm out there,
Yeah.
so just go on my LinkedIn, shoot me a message. I'll respond right away to you. If you're a construction owner, you heard of me or I heard of you,
Sure.
Perlla Deluca.
Okay, and then the only other question I was going to ask is, let's talk about the location of this. So this is in person, minus the app, which I think is fantastic. It is on the south side of we were talking before here. McKinley, the old McKinley Elementary School, I believe is
correct.
Yeah, and so will be where the pilot class is at, and then ideally moving forward. Anything else you guys want to add on any of this? It's a really great concept.
I mean, we took a leap of faith. The pilot is a small program, but our goal is eventually to train hundreds of students.
For sure.
And we took a leap of faith and acquired this old school. We have 18,000 square foot and we have 8 acres. So we are going to grow into different training facilities and advanced programs. We are not in for one class. We are in for good.
The long haul.
Yeah,
great stuff. Okay. Great information. Again, folks, you can go over to IowaSchoolOfConstruction.com, find out more information, get signed up, or you can find Perlla on LinkedIn as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Perlla Deluca and Joseph Cichowski. about how they have launched the Iowa Construction School, a fantastic opportunity for every gender, for anybody under the sun who's looking to get into the construction field. Great stuff, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.